Guys, check this out.
So there are about 110 million Americans who have not chosen to do the Real ID, and all 110 of them and everybody else should choose never to do the Real ID. If you already have one, if you've got a gold star on, go and get a standardized driver's license. If you're afraid of flying, go get your passport. But do not take the Real ID, because the whole idea here, the state of Pennsylvania asked Trump to shut down this program.
Yep.
They called it a usurpation of states' rights.
Yep.
The federal government has taken over driving and identification over the entire country. And they're going to take all of your primary identification documents and keep them for themselves. You're going to have to give them your social security number, your birth certificate, and your marriage certificate, and they will hold them. They've never had them before. You are essentially recertifying yourself as an American, and then they want to put this and digitize it, put it on your phone, and be able to shut down your access anytime you do something they don't like. This is not a simple ID card, and this is probably going to move into the global UN identification system that the UN wants to create for the entire world. This is your opportunity to shut this down.
Guys, check this out. Guys, check this out.
Alright, so I'm going to stop it right there. I'm going to start off as always by giving all praise, all honor, all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone who teach and who rule well, who taught us this truth through the power and spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the elect out there, whoever you might be. Shalom to the 144,000. It's brother Amawan Padah from the GMS Denver camp, doing a quick lesson on this Instagram reel that I just showed you. Now they mentioned something very significant, all right, in regards to the Real ID, which they just made mandatory to have to pretty much fly on airplanes here in the US, for air travel. And they have alternate forms of ID, such as your birth certificate, like as she mentioned and whatnot, your passport and shit. But the thing that she mentioned is a global United Nations ID. Now, this is something that we've always been talking about, man. The powers that be have conspired together to come forth with a new world order in which all the people of the earth will be underneath one banner. You see, that's what they plan on doing, man. A global ID, isn't that crazy? But yeah, the Real ID, it's not the mark of the beast, but it's one step closer, because that's what this is all leading to, man. The mark of the beast is the RFID microchip. You see, which is going to be made mandatory for identification for buying and selling. All right. In this society, it's not going to be just in the United States. It's going to be worldwide. All right. So she mentioned the United Nations or the UN identification card. So that's something to think about. This is the time that we're in, man. We're going to see what they do to bring it forth. But like I said, it could be some kind of catastrophic event that they orchestrate, so that they can push this on the people, man, so that people will be willing to accept it. But anyway, let's go on to a quick precept. All right, this is one thing that came to mind right here. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1 and verse 9. The thing that have been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. Ain't nothing new, man. This is a mindset of old, man. Esau, Edom, the so-called white race, wanted to gather all the nations together underneath his banner, because that's what's going to be heading the New World Order, man. It's Esau, the elites of Esau. Though these other nations are going to be in league with Esau, you know who's going to be at the forefront of it. All right? You see? And this concept of bringing everybody together is not new, man. You had the Tower of Babel. The Lord separated that. All right? And then also, you had an account in the Apocrypha. Matter of fact, I'll get that in just a second. But let's read this next verse. All right? The point is that there's nothing new under the sun. We know the playbook, man. Verse 10, it says, is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It hath been already of old time, which was before us. And this whole new world order concept is nothing new. Now, I'll prove it to you right here in the scriptures, man, in the book of First Maccabees. Let's get that real quick. All right, here we have it right here. The book of First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 41. Now it says, moreover, King Antiochus, or Antiochus, wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. And this is talking about King Antiochus IV, right? Antiochus Epiphanes, right? Who was an Edomite, okay? Back then in the Greek captivity. And this devil wanted the same thing back then. All right, showing you that these people today, the elites of Esau, the so-called white race, are Edomites, man. They go right back to this same mindset, the same concept, the same play that they're trying to run back in the day. All right, they want to control the world, man, like Pinky and the Brain. Okay, if you know that cartoon, man, you know you're good. But, you know, you younger dudes probably don't know what that is. There's a cartoon back in the day called Pinky and the Brain. These two little white lab rats, and they conspired to take over the world, man. That's what Esau's trying to do. All right. So anyway, next verse. It says, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. So there you go, man. All the heathen nations, they agreed to this system. All right. They're going to do the same thing in these last days. They're all on board with this new world order, this digital infrastructure in which everything's going to be on the grid, man, with Esau at the forefront of it. All right. But it's all going to get disrupted by what? World War III. All right. Because the Lord is going to gather the nations together, all right, in the valley of Yehoshaphat over there in the so-called Middle East to pour his judgment out on them, man. So the whole New World Order thing is not going to be successful. It's going to, get off the ground. You're going to have a lot of people take the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast, because that's what the real ID. All these things are leading up to that, man. Everything leads up to privacy, man. And the main one that we're looking for, that Esau has to pull off before he's destroyed, is the mark of the beast, man, in which all the people on the earth are going to be joined into one system. All right. So there you go, man. It goes on to say in the next verse, yeah, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. All right. So you had a lot of Israelites back then bowing the knee in the ancient times, man, when this devil brought forth his wicked decree of everybody coming together under one system. You had Israelites that bowed the knee to that wicked shit because they were worshiping idols in direct opposition of Yahweh Bashmiel Shai, the God of Israel. Well, Esau gonna do the same thing in these last days, man, because taking that RFID microchip, putting that implanted device under your skin, all right, that's the sin worthy of death. That's in complete rebellion unto Yahweh Bashmiel Shai. So it's happening all over again, except on another level. All right. But you're going to have Israelites that bow the knee and take the damn chip to be destroyed. Let's get that real quick in Revelation 14 and 9. Oh, real quick, let's read the next verse, all right? Our First Maccabees 1 and verse 44. And look, 144, right? Lord willing, we're of that number, us men. Now it says, for the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they shall follow the strange laws of the land. So it was put into law that you had to get down, man. And he sent it to our people because they want nothing more than for us, the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, to disrespect our God, man. They love to see that. That's why they put all type of different shit in the movies and popular culture that what's the word I'm looking for? That uplift rebellion against the God of the Bible, man, the God of Israel. All right, because they love nothing more than to look on us so they can accuse us to the Most High. Say, look at your people, Lord. Look what they're doing. You know, that's why he's called the accuser of the brethren. And if he tricks you Israelites into taking his RFID microchip and bowing the knee to his strange laws that he's coming with, He got you. You're going to be destroyed, man. All right. Let's get it real quick in Revelation 14 and verse 9. This is what's at hand. So here we have it right here pulled up. As I mentioned in Revelation 14 and verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand. Okay, check it out. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So this is the result of those who take the RFID microchip, those who consent unto the king's decree. And the wicked king of today would be Esau, Edom, the so-called white race, man, the elites of Esau, should I say. They're the ones that are putting all these things into play. And a lot of you Israelites, that are not rooted in the faith, you're going to bow the knee and give in to be destroyed, man. This is why we building up our faith now. All right, because we ain't going to depend on this damn devil's system to the point where we're going to bow the knee and take this damn chip. All right. It's clear to see right here that those who give in, you will be destroyed, man. It is what it is. So they're moving forward, man. This has been in the plans for a while now. And they're in the process of bringing it forth. All right. They're making this thing a reality. And the prophets have been telling you about this, man. All right. And the Lord is wrapping this thing up and he's going to bring it, man. He gonna make them devils bring this shit. And we're looking forward to it so that we can reject it. and be delivered, man. All right. That's what we want. We want to get the hell out of here, man. So let them bring it.
That's the $1 million question, or potentially even the $100 million question. You're right that with physical ID, all the countries came together and issued a standard for what a passport looks like, how it's used, and now the system is interoperable. And that is a standard that is accepted across the globe. We're very far from that with digital identity. And even in areas like the European Union, which is a block of countries, you cannot use a digital identity issued in Norway and Spain. And that is a problem for travel. That is a problem for all sorts of use cases. And we're going to eventually need to find a way to have interoperable digital identities at scale. And I think that's an area where Visa is well positioned to help because...
All right, now, I'm going to stop it right there. You heard that, man. All right, you heard what he just said. Now, I believe this man works for Visa somehow. And what did he say? He said, look, man, they're eventually going to solve the problem of the global digital identification. And the thing is that, look, he works for Visa. And what does Visa handle? They handle transactions. They're global already. All right, they handle buying and selling worldwide. So, look, they're talking about making the identity worldwide, too, to make things, quote unquote, easier for people. So, look, man, everything that we talking about, man, as the prophets of the Lord, man, they're happening. All right. The words of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah are happening, man. Okay, let's, play a little bit more. We'll finish it off and get some more precepts.
We're a global network. And frankly, one of the things that we know how to do is how to seamlessly make global transactions happen. That's the $1 million.
So there you go, man. There you go. Let's get a precept real quick. We'll get ready to close this thing out. Just a quick lesson. All right, so I got to bring it out, all right? So you can't say that you have not heard this message. All right, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 16. And he causeth all. Who's that he? Esau, Edom, man. The elites of Esau. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that mark is the digital implant, man. The RFID microchip. Okay. That's going to be the means of global identification and, transactions. This goes on to say in the next verse. And that no man might buy or sell, save he, all right, or except he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So you won't be able to buy or sell or you won't be able to identify yourself with a regular ID card. All right, you won't be able to use your credit cards and debit cards and whatnot. you'll have to have this new form of identification, this new form of making payments. All right. That's what's coming. And they could pop off some kind of crazy event here in the near future to where people are going to be willing to, use this. All right. It could be a T attack, where they say, oh, we got to identify everybody. We got to make sure that we know where everybody is and all this shit. You'll be safer. Boom, boom, bam, So we'll see how it plays out. But, we suspect that they'll do something like that here in the near future. And we're all for it because this is one step closer to getting the fuck out of here. All right. And Yahushua returning. So there you go, man. This is the plans of the elites. And it's nothing new. I mean, it's documented in the scriptures. This Bible is thousands of years old, man. And it's playing out exactly how it's written. So, yeah, I got one more. We'll close this thing out. All right, here we have the book of Romans, chapter 11 and verse 4. It's also mentioned in 1 Kings as well. But, all right, Romans 11 and 4 is actually quoting 1 Kings. But it says, but what saith the answer of the Most High unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. And Baal represents, idolatry. It represents opposition of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And Baal was a false god worshipped by the Philistines, all right, back in the day. And Esau, he's made, himself an idol pretty much, man. And he wants the people of the earth to worship him because he wants to be like the Most High. But the Lord has reserved a number of people, a number of men, all right, women and children who are not going to bow the knee to Esau and his system and his image, the beast image, the beast system. All right. And they're not going to take the mark. The Lord has an elect remnant that are not going to bow the knee. And we pray that we're of that number, while the majority of people on the earth are going to do that. They're going to do exactly what they want them to do, man. Leave off from their own religions like they did in the Greek captivity and get under the banner of Esau. All right. This time, you devils lose, man. All right. When this is made mandatory, this is when Yahushua gonna return, man. The Star of Jacob, the Savior, the Messiah himself is gonna return, man. Right after they make this shit mandatory. Because that's when World War III gonna pop off and Yahushua gonna be here in the midst of all the destruction to save his elect. All right. And if you take that RFID microchip, if you bow the knee to the image of Esau, all right, then guess what? You've canceled out your salvation, man. Point blank, period. You're going to sit here and die in the lake of fire, man. All right. And the lake of fire is America, Babylon the Great. But also understand that this is going to be a global situation. All right. You got Israelites that are going to be in other countries that take this shit, and other heathen that take this mark of the beast. And guess what? They're going to be destroyed, man. In one shape, form, or fashion. All right. Whether it's by the CANCER that comes with it, that's spoken of in Revelation 16 and 2. We covered that before. You receive this mark, you're going to receive a grievous sore. All right. So anyway, man, you don't want to be down here on the earth when the nukes are detonating. I don't care where you at. America, that's guaranteed, you're going to die. But if you're in other parts of the country, other parts of the world and other countries, the Lord's finna shake the earth like a snow globe, man. You don't want to be down here, man. So you Israelites, man, it behooves you to build your faith up now and to understand that this thing is real. And that you're going to have to reject this mark of the beast when they make it mandatory. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to end this lesson right here, man. I think the point has been made that these devils are moving forward towards their goal. All right. And we're keeping our eyes open and looking at the news and looking at different things, that pertain to this right here. Major part of end time prophecy. So I'm in this lesson right here. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and who rule well, who taught us this truth through the power and spirit of Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, and Kwame Yasharala in the Bible. Bar Shalom.